Hello there. So today I want to just briefly go over the sort of pros and cons of versus using a fist to strike or using palm heel, because there's some sort of risk reward, different benefits to using either. So start with the fist. Why would you want to use a fist more? So fist, obviously the knuckles are a bit harder with the fist. You typically tend to punch with these two knuckles here. There's other ways where you sort of punch more with the bottom three. That's more sort of like Chinese style. Most styles, most Western or Japanese karate, you use these two knuckles here. So obviously it's harder, but the main thing is that the surface area is much smaller. That's the main thing. So you can more power. So pressure is force over area. Smaller the surface area, the larger the pressure will be with the same amount of force. So when you hit with your knuckles with a fist, you can deliver more sort of force and impact. So if you hit a squishy target, like sort of core area, you can sort of deliver more force through with a fist. Downside is knuckles are prone to sort of breaking if you hit something really hard, like bone on bone. You can go bone on bone, especially if you try and punch someone in the head. A lot of the time, someone will break the knuckles in their hand because they try to punch someone in the head, and they end up hitting like the top half of your head, or your skull is really solid and dense. The lower half is more vulnerable to damage. So if you can get someone with a fist in the lower part of the skull and the jaw area, then you're going to cause a lot of damage. But if you miss, it's really small area. It's quite hard to hit with accuracy. So if if they just drop the head or anything, you misjudge, you hit the top half, it's gonna break your knuckles because they're not as hard as the skull is. So then palm heel strikes are safer because there's nothing to really break, but obviously the surface area is a bit bigger. There's slightly less range as well, just a little bit of range difference, but it's not the end of the world. But this is much better for safety. If you train yourself to attack the head with just palm strikes, obviously you can't deal as much damage with like a body shot to a softer area as you can with a fist, because you can't transfer the force through because of that bigger surface area. But if you hit someone in the head and it hits the hard parts, it's not going to do you any damage. It's still going to transfer a load of force and like rattle the brain around. There's a legit strategy where you like sort of self-defense strategy where you just basically just try and assault the head with palm heel strikes and just try and smash them around as much as you can in the head. It's not going to do you any damage because that palm heel, it's going to rattle their brain around and cause a ballistic or like concussion knockout. It's a legit sort of thing you can do. And so you can sort of train yourself, if you're going to try and hit someone in the head practically without any protection on, ideally you do want to be trying to hit with a palm heel. If you hit palm heel on the lower areas, it's still going to do plenty of damage. It's still going to have the same sort of effect as the fist does, because you don't need massive amounts of force to like cause damage or even a knockout in this lower area here. So attacking the head without any sort of gloves or protection in like a sort of street fight scenario is always ideal. So go with more of a palm heel strike than a fist. Obviously fist, hitting lower areas, it's still okay to use a fist most of the time because that'll do more damage than a palm heel strike will. So that's the sort of pros and cons of using one. If you're using either one, let me know what you think about it. If you have any sort of anything else you want to add or any other opinions. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.